Hey guys, meteorologist Chris Tomer here, and this is the On the Snow Before You Go forecast. Be sure to hit the subscribe button so you get notified when my latest forecasts get released. I want to jump into the spider chart, and it is just so nice to say we have a lot more choices in the next 7, 8, 9 days. Look at that, more purple, higher on the web. If you recall to the last update, there were just little slivers of purple on the web in the last update. Now we're bringing in a better storm cycle for the west between 2/9 and probably 2/18. I think there are two distinct periods of snow. The first will be minor compared to the second, but it's going to be harder to miss this time. Tetons look good. Idaho, Montana, the Pacific Northwest with colder air coming in. Interior BC, California, the Sierra is one of my bullseyes. The Wasatch finally in on the action. Parts of Colorado as well. So there's just a lot more. I mean, there's just a lot more purple, better areas and accumulation to choose from. Let me show you sort of the pattern. All right, so this is water vapor satellite imagery. The action or the moisture in the middle of the atmosphere is in the whites, the blues, and even the greens. And so look at your steady stream of moisture coming in, big trough of low pressure spinning things in like spokes on a wheel. And this is the first phase, the first period, and this is the one that will start to break down the big high that the West has been basically struggling to deal with the last 2 weeks. And then the additional energy will come in further south and nail the high Sierra, cruise into Utah, parts of Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana, even northern New Mexico as we kind of move down the road. All right, here are my bullet points. Here's what I'm expecting during this time period. So an active storm track. I love being able to say that because it's been so long. 2/9 through 2/18, especially this period, 2/15 to 2/18, looks to me like it's going to be colder with higher chances for accumulating snow. Just look at the 15-day. I haven't been able to report this in quite some time. I've got 50 inches on the board over the next 15 days for Mammoth, 18 at Vail, a couple of feet at Snowmass, Park City, Alta way up there, over 3 feet. Revelstoke at a couple of feet. In fact, here's how you can plan it out by the dates and the timeline. I'm not going to go through all these, but for example, you've got light to moderate accumulations hitting Utah 210, moderate to heavy 211, and moderate to heavy 216, 17, 18, and 19. So it's that second period that really generates a lot of snowfall in those areas. Let's look at the state of the atmosphere. This is 210. And so where you see these warmer colors, those represent higher than normal pressures. Where you see the colder colors, the blues, the greens, those are a drop in pressures or lower than normal pressures over the 20-year average. And so that's our storm system hitting the West Coast. And it will send little waves of moisture into the interior. Now that's 210. Here's 215. By 215, still looking at some higher pressures hanging on across the Rockies, but big storm complex hitting the West Coast with a deeper area of low pressure. That's 215. Let's go to 217. So way down the road, high pressure is basically now, at this point, sitting across a lot of the Midwest and the Great Lakes, opening the door for a much deeper storm cycle right here. 215, 16, 17, 18, and probably 19. That's a deep area of low pressure. And look at the effect that it has on Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Wyoming, Montana, all under the influence of this dip in the jet stream on 217. Colder with snow. Does AI agree? It does, largely. Look at this. So it also has the big dip in the pattern and a very deep area of low pressure across the West. Really hoping this verifies. This would translate into colder air and quite a bit of snow. Looking at the 8-day total precip as if everything fell as rain. So there's one distinct wave there, and then another right there that comes in and sweeps even further to the south. Look at the high Sierra. We've got reds and even some of those deep reds. So that's, potentially over 4 inches of liquid, which could easily translate into over 3 feet of snow. And some of that rolls into Idaho, the Tetons, Utah, Montana. So yeah, this is looking pretty good. Here's 10-to-1 snow, same time period. Second wave, boom, right there hits. So you're looking at deep purples at least 6 inches, bright pinks would be at least a foot, and the whites that's at least 2 feet. And look at the whites right there start to pop out over the top of the High Sierra. So looking pretty good. All right, let's go to the southwest vantage point. This is total precip across the southwest a little bit initially, and then right there, that's the second wave that digs even further to the south one more time. So that's going to translate into good snow for the Snow Bowl and Bryan Head in southwest Colorado. Watch it right there. Here are my numbers. Well, actually, let's do the snow plume, the AI snow plume. This is from AI, Berthoud Pass, Colorado, and Jackson Hole. It's a 10 to 15 day total snow product. So by the end, the close of business on 2/22, this generates about 6.5 to 7 inches over Berthoud Pass, so not a lot. Different tail here over the top of Jackson Hole in the Tetons with about 20 inches generated here by the end of the day on 2/22. So quite a difference there, over twice as much snow for Jackson Hole versus parts of Colorado. Here's what I'm thinking. So 2/9 to 2/16, it's the time frame. I've got 3 feet over the High Sierra, and I've got 10 to 20 over the Wasatch, and basically 5 to 10 over Colorado. I wouldn't say Colorado's in for a direct hit by either one of these, but I think between the two will probably generate 6 to maybe 5 to 10, 6 to 10, somewhere right in there. But I do like the Tetons with about 20 inches of snow accumulation. AI's on board with that as well. 6 to 12 through Montana, 10 to 12 Idaho, and potentially 10 plus up there in the Pacific Northwest. Lots of 10s through interior BC. So we're looking good. I mean, this is the best that the West has looked in weeks. Up in the Northeast, total snow accumulation next 8 days, couple of clippers, one there, and then another one right there. Deep purple would be at least 6 inches, and we're definitely above 6 in a number of spots. In fact, here's my forecast. 2/9 through 2/16, generally 4 to 10 up here through most of the major resorts, more in Vermont, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 up there through the heart of Vermont. All right, we're going to end on the western map here through 2/16. It's great to be able to report this. Finally, we've got some snow returning to the west over the next, 8, 9 days with a couple of different storm cycles. Again, this is the On the Snow Before You Go forecast, guys. Thanks for tuning in here. And again, hit the subscribe button so you get notified when these updates come down. Thanks for tuning in here. Have a great day.